right, hello wine drinking people. Today is Friday, November 12th. Well into the month of November here, and we've just got a couple of great events to wrap up the year 2010. What an incredible year it has been. Some of the greatest tastings and more tastings than we've ever done here at the Wine Watch. But this has become an annual event. What I've got to sell you today, our Madeira tasting coming up on Friday, November 19th. The day before our big champagne tasting, we'll be doing a sit-down examination and study of one of the world's greatest wines. Madeira is an island off the coast of North Africa that's owned by Portugal. It's a volcanic island, and the wines there have pronounced acidity. There's four main types of wines. You've got Cercial, Verdejo, Boal, and Malmsey, also Malvasia, otherwise known as. And they're in order of sweetness from the driest to the sweetest in that category. And then you've got some other simple wines, old rare wines, and some other wines that they do. But these are the great wines from Madeira. The wines that you can keep several hundred years. That's right, folks. Hey, you know, Madeira has got a special place in the history of the United States of America. This is one beverage that didn't come from Europe that we got, alcoholic beverage, so it was not taxed by the Brits. And hey, you know how we Americans don't like to pay taxes? And this was one that the original colonies didn't have to pay taxes on. So when Betsy Ross was knitting her flag, you can bet when she was knitting her first flag, she was nipping on some Madeira. When they were signing the Declaration of Independence in 1787, 1788, whatever the hell that was, hey, we got a wine that's just a year after they signed the Declaration of Independence. Who was president when this wine was produced? George Washington, our first president. They say it's some other guy was before that, before the actual, signing of the Constitution, there was a president. But hey, George Washington is money, man. He's on the $1 bill. So we're going to celebrate our first president a week from tonight while drink a wine that was actually produced when he was in office. Incredible, folks. I've never had this wine, but it is a legendary wine. The Campo de Lobos Vineyard, considered one of the top vineyard sites on the island of Madeira. And these are mostly vintage wines we have here. There are some Madeiras that are cellaras also, but this style of Madeira is pretty much gone. By the way, there's no more wines like this being made. They're not these old casks that are being kept. These used to be family heirlooms that were passed down from generation to generation. Families had casks of Madeira, and then they would bottle them off as they needed them. And a lot of these old casks are gone, and none of the big Madeira producers today hold wines back for 100 years in casks. So, hey, you are drinking dinosaurs tonight, folks, and we have got an incredible lineup of Madeiras, as I said, going all the way back to 1789, a legendary old Madeira. And most of the other stuff, hey, from the last century, so almost 100 years old, a lot of these other wines. Some of them only go back 50 years, but we've got an incredible menu tonight. Also, Madeira is one of those things, just like ports, that go with a variety of different foods. We got a lovely spice rub pork roulade. It's going to be served with apples, pears, and a Madeira orange honey crisp. Wow, apple glaze sounds fantastic. And then some curry duck sous vide. The food we had last year was just incredible with these wines. Incredible food and wine pairings capable with this wine. And we've got some of the legendary old vintages going down this evening. And hey, we have got some wines, some legendary old Madeiras on this offer. And as I said, they are disappearing. Every year, our Madeira offer seems to get smaller and smaller. But a lot of great stuff. And these great entry-level wines from the New York Wine Company, which is basically, the Rare Wine Company, the New York Malmsey, the Boston Boal, the Charleston Cercial. So the four main types of Madeira represented, and all entry-level prices. These are approximately 25-year-old blends, which is pretty much what you're seeing a lot today in Madeira, wines being bottled in their first 50 years or sooner. So check it out on today's offer, all the great old Madeiras and the new stuff. I'm your host, Andrew Lampazone, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.